آل قرآني حفظتم آي رحماني وفضلتم تلاوته.
الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Jazakumullah khairan to the brothers and sisters that are attending tonight. Jazakumullah khairan to the brothers and sisters tonight. Today we have a talk by Sheikh Abu Ubayd on understanding life and its due tests. Just a quick intro on the Sheikh before he starts, inshallah. The Sheikh has spent more than a decade studying abroad in Bangladesh, Egypt, Mauritania, and under several leaders and scholars. The Sheikh is the founder and Dean of Studies at the Institute Dar al-Arqam in London, UK, where he is also the lead instructor for many of its courses. He is also a Khatib, board member, and consultant to a number of organizations and businesses. So without further ado, inshallah, I'll hand over to the Sheikh.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الرحمن الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا وإمامنا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Firstly, sincere apologies for the lateness. I was quite far away in a lecture given in London, what is it called? School of Economics. Yeah, so it's I was there and giving a lecture on marriage, and then the brothers were asking a lot of questions and got delayed there a bit, and then the Uber was supposed to be efficient that delayed us a bit little bit as well. So anyway, sincere apologies. Today's topic, it's a topic that we all needed, and we also struggled a lot of times in our life. And one of the main sort of core reasons why we struggle a lot is because we don't understand, or we are unable to comprehend the you can say the sunnah of Allah, the sunnah of His creation in terms of trials and tribulations. You find that what our parents went through, the trials and tribulations and difficulties and challenges they went through, we are not going through those trials and those tribulations and those challenges. Yet we find that we struggle more than they did. And it doesn't logically, rationally make sense that why is it that we have money, we have clothes, we have food on the table, some of us even have houses, yeah, like bought houses, freehold houses. Yeah, we struggle. We feel lonely, we feel empty. Some of us are depressed. And it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. So, inshallah, I will try to give you some mindsets, quick ones. And then, inshallah ta'ala, I'll try to give you practical tips. So I'll give you a couple of my some practical tips in order for you to deal with those struggles that you are going through. If I can have just to make it a bit more engaging, if I can just have raise of hands, who is struggling in life? I am. Who is struggling in life? Yeah. Who is finding some challenges in your marriage or with your parents or with your siblings? Who's finding there's a challenge, there's a lot of difficulties? Yeah, Definitely I am, yeah. So you can see that, like in life, we are all struggling one way or the other. There's difficulties and challenges we are all going through. Okay? I'll give you the first mindset. The first mindset you ought to have this mindset, is that challenges, difficulties, trials and tribulations make you a better human being. Makes you a stronger human being. Yeah, and if you're a true Muslim, then it makes you a loftier Muslim. That understanding, that perception, that mindset you ought to have. That I am going through this challenge, I am going through this trial, I am going through this tribulation, I am going through this difficulty. What Allah wants from that He wants to make me a better person, a stronger human being, a more loftier, greater Muslim. That is something we don't have. And because we don't have that, we make the struggle more greater than it is. We make the difficult more huge than it is. We make the trial more severe than it is. Yeah? Soon as you see that this is something that will make me a better Muslim, it will make me a greater Muslim, then the weight on your shoulder becomes less. You become more prepared for you to be challenged. You become more prepared and ready to go through this trial. You become more prepared and ready to actually find the fruits therein. I'll give you an example for this. Your father, who are you close with? Your father or mother? Who is close with your father? Raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who's close with the father? Mother, sorry. Raise your hands. Aren't you close to anyone? Any of you guys? Who are you close to? Mother or father? Father, raise your hands. There's few of us. Mother, who's close to the mother? Majority. Okay. Suppose your mother says to you, after you've been naughty and so forth and so on, and not listening to her and so forth and so on, she says to you, son, I'm not going to make your best dishes for you for a couple of weeks until you change your ways. I'm not going to what? Make the best dishes that you like until you change your ways. Will you say to your mother, Mom, you hate me? Will you say that to your mom? Huh? Brothers? Or will you say to your mom, will you say in your heart that, you know what, she loves me, but because she wants to discipline me or change my ways, because I'm not changing, she's preventing me from having my lovely dishes. But you won't say to your mom that she hates you. Will you say that? Will you say that? You won't say that. And when you do mend your ways, change your ways, say for example, for 1 month, she doesn't cook your dishes, the best dishes that you like, for 1 month. You will start changing yourself slowly. And then once you've changed, the next month, she starts cooking you the best of dishes. How happy will you be? How happy will she be? Just like that with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but more better, more greater. That when He trials you, He's trialing you to give you more. He's trialing you for you to get more from Him. So when He Jalla wa'ala trials you, puts you through difficulties and challenges, is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to give you more. Just like your mother and father wants to give you more and they're disciplining you, similarly Allah wants to give you more. Is preparing you with the trial and tribulation so that you get more from Him Jalla wa'ala subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is something guaranteed. What does Allah get from not giving something to you? What does He get? Does He get anything? What does He not get if He gives you something? He doesn't get anything. So He has no reason for Him not to give you something that you want, you desperately want. He has no reason. Rather, He wants to give it to you. So by you going through trial and tribulation, the first and foremost thing you need to realize that Allah is making me a better person. Allah Jalla wa'ala wants to make me a stronger person. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants me to be a loftier Muslim. That is something you need to ingrain in yourself. If you do not ingrain that in yourself, then any difficulty, you will take it as huge. I'll give you another example. There's a challenge in the school. Yeah, the challenge is to pick up rocks, big rocks. The more rocks you pick up, the more bigger the rocks get. Yeah? And eventually you win a prize, the winner gets the prize. The one who has the mindset of, you know what, why should I pick up the rock? This is nonsense. Why should I win the prize? Blah, blah, blah. He doesn't prepare. When he goes to pick up the rocks, will he win? Will he win? He will not win. Because he did not prepare mentally, did not prepare physically, doesn't want the prize, he will not get it. Someone else, he sees that, you know what? If I train myself, if I prepare for myself, if I can win that competition, I get that prize. Most likely he will what? Get the prize. Most likely he will get the prize. Even if he does not get the prize, he will be able to pick up some of these rocks and show himself and others that he is capable of picking some of these heavy rocks. Yes or no? Similarly, when you go through the trials and you prepare yourself that there is a prize at the end of the day, then these heavy rocks, it doesn't matter how heavy the trial is, you'll be able to pick some of them and eventually you will get the prize. At least if you don't get the prize, you will be more stronger than you first started. Is the example clear? Yeah? So that's what the trials and tribulations do to you. Is that it makes you a better person, it makes you a greater person, it makes you a loftier person. And if you don't have that in your mind, then this is what will drain you down and drag you down and eventually drown you. And that's why you see most of the brothers and sisters, they suffer a lot because they don't have that in their hearts and in their minds, that Allah is trialing me to make me a better and greater person. The second point I want you to note, second mindset I want you to note, is that no matter how difficult the trial is, how much trials and tribulations you're going through and how difficult the challenge is, no matter how or what it is, that trial will end eventually. Your parents, didn't they go through trials? Did that trial is it still continuing wherever the trial they went through? Is it still continuing or has an end? It ended. The people, your friends, your companions, the trials they were going through, did they not end? It ended. Trials and tribulations end. They never last. No one trial lasts all of your life. It doesn't. It ends. There is an end to your trial. There's an end to your difficulty. There's an end to your challenge. There is no trial that doesn't end. It ends. Yeah? Life moves on. Nothing stands still. Nothing stops. Everything moves on. Even your trial, your difficulty, you're finding difficulty with your parents, you're finding difficulty with your siblings, you're finding difficulty with your spouses, It will end. One way or the other, it will end. And what the mindset you ought to have is, yes, it will end, and I want to end it in the best of ways, in the best of manners. How many trials you went through when you were a little kid? Some of you maybe are bullied in school and the masjid. Yeah? Some of you are given nicknames. Lampana, Khan Suto, all that, yeah, different nicknames you were given. Small ear or big eyes or whatever, Pinocchio and this and that, yeah, nicknames. But those bullying, those nicknames ended. Yeah? You go over it. Yeah, some of you had less pocket money and that was your trial. Now it's okay, you're earning your own money. So all the trials and tribulations and challenges that you go through, it ends. But what you have to have, that yes, it ends, but I want to end it in the best of ways, in the best of manners. Yeah? Those two mindsets will make you a great person. You find any great person your role model. Can I have some names? Any names that you find role model? Do you have any role models that you look up to? It could be your brother, it could be your uncle. Anyone? Yes? No? Anyone has role models? Just yes?
My dad.
Your dad. Why is he a role model?
Very hard working.
He's very hard working. Yeah.
No, the sisters are complaining some echoing.
Okay.
Thankfully, just yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so why is he a role model? Because he's hard working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At his age.
How old is he?
He's 62.
Yeah, MashaAllah, tabarakallah, may Allah give him long life. Amen. So that trait of his is making you to see him that he's a role model, your role model, right? Anyone else? Role model. Who's your role model? No one has role models. Yes, Bismillah. Your father as well. Why?
He's a very polite guy, very understanding.
Allahu Akbar. That's where to find. That's a gem there. Father's like, Horiyaza, like, go away. You know, who are you to speak to me? Do you know more than me? That's actually the father's nature, but for a father to understand, that's a gem. Any other role models? Yeah, my role model is my mother. My mother is my role model. I've never seen a more patient woman in my entire life. You know, I've never seen a woman that is more sacrificial. She sacrifices so much, and she's still sacrificing so much. She still shops for us, even though we're nearly 40 years old. She still goes out, shops for us, fish, vegetables, and in her age of 70, she still does it. Even if you say don't do it, mom, she still goes and shops because her children need to eat their favorite dishes. Yeah, she's my role model. These role models, yeah, have become what they become for you, and you've taken them as role models because they've achieved what they've achieved through the trials and tribulations. Yeah? Through the trials and tribulations. They ended the trials and tribulations in the best of manners. Yeah? That's why they became great, and that's why they became a role model. Similarly, when you pass those trials and tribulations and achieve in the best of manner and end in the best of manner, you will become role models for your children and for your communities, for people to look up to. Yeah? For people to look up to. I'll give you some practical tips, and inshallah we'll wrap it up. So 2 mindset, remember brothers, do not forget. Number 1 is that the trials and tribulations of Allah Jalla wa Ala subhanahu wa ta'ala are there to make you stronger, to make you a better person, to make you a loftier Muslim. Yeah, that's number 1. Number 2, the trials end. Doesn't matter what trials you're going through, they always end. But the mindset you ought to have is end in the best way. Why? Because if you end in the best way, you become role models for the people who are around you. Simple. Some practical tips. Number 1, when you go through trials and tribulations, speak to someone. Speak to someone. Don't suffer alone. Say it to someone. Even if that person cannot solve the problem, say it to someone. When you speak with people, it will relieve some of the emotions and some of the negative thoughts that you're going through. Yeah? If you're being bullied, speak to someone. If you're being abused, speak to someone. Tell someone. If you're going through mental issues or emotional issues, speak to someone. Yeah? Do not suffer alone. One of the biggest problems when it comes to our Muslim community is we are shy to speak about things which we find taboo, or we find like this is embarrassing, or this is too shy, this is too much for my family to know about. So like if you're being bullied, you think like if I speak to my family, they will think like, why are you so weak? Yeah. If I'm being abused or taken advantage of, if I was to speak, my family will be think, why are you inviting people to do this, or why are you not strong enough to stop that being advantage of? Yeah. So do not have those notions, because those notions will make you suffer more. Speak to someone. Yeah. If you're going through difficulty, if you're going through challenging times with your father, with your mother, with your brother, with your sister, with your uncle, with your auntie, speak to someone. Yeah, your companion, your friend. Yeah, speak to someone. It's so vital that we speak. The greatest of the creation, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he went through the greatest of trial, he spoke to people. He spoke to his closest of companions, be it Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu, be it Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha, be it Waraqa ibn Nawfal radiallahu ta'ala anhu, be it Aisha. He spoke to someone, be it Salama radiallahu ta'ala anha. He spoke to someone. He sought comfort. It's not only just you make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you call him. La, there's also someone that you ought to speak, someone physical, tangible, another human being who will at least minimum comfort you with comforting words. Sometimes you just need someone to say, don't worry, you'll be fine. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Don't worry, you'll get over this. Don't worry, everything will be okay. You just need someone to say that. That's all. You know deep down that this problem will not be solved. You know deep down that this issue will not go away so easily. But just because someone says, don't worry, you'll be fine, or don't worry, things will get better, or don't worry, everything will be fine, just because you heard that, the immediate emotional instability you're going through becomes stable. At least immediately, what you're going through, that becomes stable. So, my advice is, if you're going through difficulty and difficult times, speak to someone, do not suffer silently. That's number one practical tip. Number two, when you're going through so much emotions, you're going through so much emotion internally, and so much thoughts are going through, and you think it's unbearable, it's beyond your abilities and capabilities, and you spoke to people and it's not resolving the matter, it's not solving the matter, make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when I say make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what I mean is seek out those moments where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala specifically said and has informed us through the wahy, through the revelation, that He answers. He answers those times, those moments. For example, the last portion of the night. For example, between Adhan and Iqamah. For example, on Friday after Jum'ah, or during Jum'ah, or after Asr until sunset. Those moments, seek those moments out. Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala specify those moments? He answers every time. He answers 24 hours a day. Why did He specify those moments? He specified those moments because He wants to answer the people who are going through so much difficulty that they need a miracle. They need a miracle in their lives. And He has given those moments. He's given those moments for those people who need a miracle, and Allah Ta'ala will give them the miracle if they seek Him out in these moments. Last portion of the night, between Adhan and Iqamah, Fridays. Yeah? So seek those moments out when you want miracle to happen. And Allah Ta'ala will answer. How many people couldn't find someone to marry? Everyone searched for them. They could not find anyone to marry, and boom, they got married. What happened? What happened? The dua got answered. That's what happened. Some people were not having children. 10 years they went through so many medical treatment. Nothing happened. Boom. They had twins. What happened? The dua got answered. That's what happened. Some people couldn't find a good job to look after their family. They're struggling with this, they're struggling with that, they're struggling with this, they're struggling with that, and boom, they get a good promotion or they get a good job, good income. What happened? The dua got answered. That's what happened. That's what happened. Simple as that. Their dua got answered. So when trials and tribulations are beyond you, seek those moments. I say them again. Last portion of the night, make the dua. Prostrate, make the dua. Adhan and Iqamah. You come to the masjid, between Adhan and Iqamah, make the dua. You don't have to raise your hands. You can just utter in your heart and utter with your tongue. In your sujood, when you're in prostration, make the dua. When you donate, make the dua. When you do something secretly for the sake of Allah, no one knows, make the dua. Friday, seek out that last hour from Asr until sunset. Seek out. Whatever you're doing, leave it. Come to the masjid. Raise your hands. Beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the miracle to happen. It will happen. Because Allah shows Himself through miracles when you need it. And then you know with yaqeen that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exists, because all the means were taken. You did not achieve what you wanted to achieve, and then you simply made a dua. What's dua? You simply, with your belief, uttered a few words, and then miracle took place. Wow, how is that possible? It's possible because the one who brought you and everything into existence, He heard your call and He answered you. That's what happened. Lastly, last point is, when you are struggling with your life, yeah, seek out those people who are struggling also. Seek them out. Help them. Minimum help them with words. You be the person who says, don't worry, you'll be okay. You'll be fine. Don't worry, this will end. Take away sadness and difficulties and challenge and trials and tribulation of people. Even with words, simple words or simple tap. You know, some people, subhanallah, obviously I travel the UK to give lectures, and so many people come to me with so many difficulties and troubles and tribulations they're going through. You know, all I do sometimes is just tap the back and say, don't worry. Obviously I get the name, suppose his name is Abdullah. I say, Abdullah, don't worry, you'll be okay. Just by me tapping on his back and say, Abdullah, you'll be okay. The next day or the next week or the next month, he will message me saying, subhanallah, you know what? I'm fine, I'm okay. I'm able to go to work. I'm able to talk to my mom, or I'm able to solve this issue. He had the energy. Simple tap. Abdullah, don't worry, you'll be okay. Simple words. Or sister messages, emails, I'm going through this and that. Sister, don't worry, you'll be fine. Simple message. Sister, don't worry, you'll be fine. May Allah cure you. Or may Allah guide your husband. Or may Allah Jalla wa ala, open his heart. Or may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make his heart soft. Simple dua like that. And then she will message or email after a couple of months. You know what? My husband is better now. Or you know what? Jazakallah for the dua. Or you know what? My family is better. What did I do? Nothing. All I did was, you'll be fine. You'll be okay. Don't worry about it. Be strong. Allah will cure you. Take the means. Make dua. You be that person When you be that person of elevating people from the difficulties, from the challenging, relieving them, even through words, not finance. Don't think it has to be always money. Just with your words, just with your hugs, your taps, your smiles, your holding of hands of theirs, or hugging them, or just taking them out for food, or being companion to them, or just listening to them, or a phone call, or an email, or a text message. Something simple as that. Or taking them out for a pool, a game. Simple as that. Be a person that takes away people's hardships and difficulties even with words. Minimum. Wallahi, Allah Jalla wa Ala will take care of your burdens. Guaranteed. Allah Jalla wa Ala will take care of your burdens. Why? Because you are taking care of people's burdens simply with words. And therefore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will answer that person's dua when he or she says, subhanAllah, this brother came to my need. This brother came to my need. Their dua will come from the depth of the soul that will reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah Jalla wa Ala will then answer your dua before you even ask. Help people. Help people. Sallallahu says in the Hadith Sahih, Hadith Qudsi, that if in the Hadith Qudsi Jalla wa Ala on Qiyamah Day say, if only you were there, you'd have found me. If only you were there, you'd have found me. I.e., if only you were there to help this person and that person and this person and that person, you'd have found me. What do you mean you'd have found me? I would have answered things to you that you were seeking for before you even asked. That's my third tip. Help people, even with words. And inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ease all your affairs and He will give you all the things that you yearn for. Jazakumullah khair, subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakumullah khair to the Sheikh for the lecture and giving us practical steps on how to deal with trials and tribulations. Now inshallah we'll have the Q&A session. For the sisters, I believe near the TV we have stuck on the instructions on how to put down your questions. It's on the website slido.com, and if you can inshallah go through that. And the brothers, you can just ask the questions from here directly inshallah. SLIDO. Oh yeah, and then the name is IDC. Yeah. Okay,
it's best.
Just leave it there.
Let's leave it here.
Any questions? Yes, Sheikh. Your name? Hasib. Barakallah fik Hasib. Jazakallah. That's fine. Yes, Hasib. Go ahead.
Jazakallah khair for the talk. Recently, my workplace, they did a talk. Well, they encouraged everybody to come to this mental health talk. And as you mentioned, one of the points that came to my head was you mentioned about imagine someone is fat, and then they feel depressed about the fact that they are fat. What happens is they go.
Or imagine it's thin like me.
And the thing is, some people think that they're fat, right? They're not exactly, but they think that they're fat, and so they go through this depression cycle. Because they're fat, they feel depressed, and then because of that they eat more, and then they go through this thing again and they feel bad about it.
Because I eat less.
And similarly, I've met quite a few Muslim brothers. Sin, and the thing is, they feel ashamed to ask for forgiveness, and then again they end up sinning, and then they feel again and again. What would
The question was, in a cycle of, I don't like calling it depression, but when you're in that cycle of where you think that, be it a sin or be it a negative perspective of yourself or of the situation, and you think it not come out, what to do, what you ought to do. There's no obviously one solution. There's so many, but the best tip is I can give you is talk to someone. Talk to someone. Yeah, even if it's sins, talk to someone. Yeah, when you talk to someone, it doesn't matter how severe the sin is. Yeah, he or she will help you and assist you, even with with wisdom of words. Talk to someone obviously close, someone that you know, someone that knows you well. Talk to someone. That is the solution that is given through experience, like through experience of people, that people know, okay, you know what, when they're in that vicious cycle, they can't come out. It's not like they have to listen to a lecture or stuff like this. The best solution is that they talk to someone. As soon as they talk to someone, someone helps them. Someone gets them out from that situation. It could be the mother, it could be the father, it could be the brother, it could be the sister, it could be just a friend, school friend, it could be just a colleague in the work. Yeah, it could be a teacher, it could be a mentor, it could be a role model. Someone gets them out. There needs to be a companion. Jalla wa ala says that in the Quran. He says, يَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا كُونُوا مَعَ الصَّادِقِينَ يَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَكُونُوا مَعَ الصَّادِقِينَ. Or you have iman, have taqwa of Allah, so that's between you and Allah. And then when you're struggling, for you to get out from that struggle, Jalla wa ala gives you a principle. He says, be with the sadiqin. Be with the people who are sadiqin. Why? Because they will get you out from the struggle. Also Jalla wa ala says, Al-Asr, وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. And then you're struggling, what do? وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ. Someone is helping you with the truth. Someone is assisting you. Yeah, and you assist them. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Someone is giving you to be patient. Someone is saying, reminding you, be patient, don't worry. You'll get out of this. Yeah? So you need that someone. You need that someone. Is that clear? So my tip is, speak to someone.
Sheikh, if I can just mention a question from the sisters. I'm just monitoring the Slido thing that you mentioned. So, how to choose the right one to share our trials?
The someone that knows you very well. Someone.
Can you just repeat the question, please?
The question is, how best do you choose a person for you to speak to? Someone that you're close with, your Khalil, as the Quran and the Sunnah mentions, your Khalil. Yeah. So, for example, Sallallahu had Abu Bakr as Khalil. He could go and speak to him the most intimate matters of his problems. Yeah. Everyone has a Khalil, or everyone ought to have a Khalil. If you don't have a Khalil, right? Even I have a Khalil. Yeah. There's a brother who's my student. Yeah. And he's younger than me, and I go and talk to him about everything that I'm going through. I don't keep anything hidden from him. Yeah? You need a Khalil. And if you don't have a Khalil, you ought to make someone a Khalil. Someone who trusts you, someone you trust, someone who's very close with you, intimate with you. You've traveled with them, you've spent nights with them. Someone very close. Yeah? Doesn't have to be practicing. Doesn't have to be like practicing. It can be even a non-Muslim. But someone that's very, very close to you as a human being. As a human being. Yeah? Talk to them. Yeah? They will say, the initial relief they will give you. Yeah? After that, you may need to go to someone more wiser, someone more smarter, someone more experienced, and more of an expert after that. But the initial relief, you can get it from them. And that's why the best people to talk to is your closest of friends. The closest of friends of what you're going through. And it doesn't matter how bad they are. When they see you, the state you're in, they will give the best of advice. Even if the advice goes against your interests, they will give you the best of advice. Yeah? Because they're seeing you in a very, very bad state. Okay? Yes.
There's this perceived notion that whenever someone goes through trials and tribulations, that to speak to someone else about it might show a deficiency in tawakkul. And then, so how do we understand or put tawakkul in its right perspective in that circumstance? And say, for example, the statement of Yaqub alayhi salam, إِنَّمَا أَشْكُو بَثِي وَحُزْنِي إِلَى اللَّهِ.
Yeah. This is a notion that practicing brothers and sisters have. The notion is that if I speak to people, then my tawakkul is lower, my tawakkul is not high, and so forth. You speak, you have tawakkul in Allah Jalla wa Ala subhanahu wa ta'ala that He will relieve you and He will give you the fruits of the trial. That's the tawakkul. As for the means of relief, you ought to take. He doesn't say, Jalla wa Ala doesn't say, I will relieve you without you taking the means of relief. La, you take the means of relief. Part of that means is speaking to your friends, speaking to your Khalil. Part of that means speaking to you. Yaqub alayhi salam, he complained to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. At the same time, what did he send? He sent his children to find Yusuf. He sent them twice. And he kept reminding them to find him. And he was complaining to them, why haven't you found Yusuf yet? Clear? So he was talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and he was complaining to him. At the same moment, he was taking the means to find Yusuf alayhi salam. Yeah? So, tawakkul in Allah, that Allah will bring the relief, Allah will give you the fruits. That's the tawakkul. The result and the fruit of it, you have hope therein only from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As for the means, then the means are for you to take and for others to take with you. That's the means. That is part and parcel of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As for the tawakkul of results and fruits, then that is only to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which you hope for even before you have the results and you have the fruits. And even if you cannot see the results and if you cannot see the fruits, you have hope therein that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can bring it for you. Clear?
There's like 3 questions from the sisters. I will let you choose, inshallah. I think 2 of them are similar. The last 3, basically.
Last.
These are so many questions. I need another lecture for this because these are. I tend to not to give simple answers. Yeah, because Islam is not. It's not simple. Islam is complex, and because Islam is human beings are complex. That's why Islam is complex. So solutions are not there simply me giving you simple answers. But I can sort of try my best to give you the most practical answer. So when it comes to the issue of friends who give you bad advice, then they should not be your friends. Or if they are your friends, then you should not seek advice from them. So seek advice from people who will give you genuine advice, even if it goes against your own interest. As for parents who have issues of culture, every society has culture. Every society has culture. So no, the notion that only our parents have culture and we Westerners don't have culture, that notion is wrong in the first place. We Westerners, don't we have a culture? Don't we have a culture? Of course we have a culture. Yeah? But we tend to like, for example, we pick and choose. So when Western culture is good for us, we say, this is the Western culture. Meaning, I'm okay to do it because it fits me. Yeah? Western culture. And if Islam says that as well, then it's like, Islam says that as well. This is like a backup. Yeah? So it's pick and choose. That's a sad reality. For example, you say to any Muslim sister of 2 or 3 marriages, yeah, no sister will agree to it. Even Islam says it, allows it, sometimes even encourages it in some circumstances, but no sister allows it. Here they will negate what? Islam. Negate it completely. They will not be happy with that at all whatsoever. But that same sister, she'll utilize, for example, the culture of what? Western of a man, or it's even Islam, a husband and wife, they live alone without their parents. Yeah? Yes or no? So here, picking and choosing. Yeah? So, firstly, that notion that only our parents have culture, we don't have culture, that notion is not true, it's false. It's a fallacy. Every society has culture. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. Yeah? The measurement of that goes back to two matters. Number one, Islam, and number two, compatibility. It goes to these two criterions. Number one is Islam, and number two is compatibility. So, give you an example. Your parents might not want a Pakistani who is Pakistani marrying a Bengali. And a Bengali, that's reality. They might not want that. Why not? They see it's not compatible because of the history. Yeah? So first, Islam allows it, but the issue of compatibility, that the compatibility comes in. It's part of the nature, it's part of society. And the marriage may break up, so they don't allow that. That's not racism. That's not racism. That's preference, that's compatibility. Yeah? So sisters sometimes misunderstand these things. Even brothers, it's like Islam allows it. Yes, Islam allows it, but just because Islam allows it, that does. I'll give you an example. Fatima, radiyallahu anha. Ali married her, yes. Islamically, was Ali allowed to marry more than Fatima? Islamically, was he allowed?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Did he?
No.
Why not? Why not? Because Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said what? If someone hurts Fatima, hurts me. Was that a revelation?
No.
Or was that issue of compatibility and preference? Preference. Clear? So don't get these things confused. A lot of people, they take Islam so simplistically. They don't focus on the reality and comprehensiveness of societies and realities. I'll give you another example. The issue of the parents staying within the sons and with the sons, and or the daughter-in-law staying with her father-in-law, mother-in-law. Yeah? Islam doesn't negate it and it doesn't affirm it. It leaves it to compatibility. It leaves it to taking care of their parents. It leaves it to how best they can be taken care of. It leaves it to that. So it doesn't say do this or don't do that. It leaves it to compatibility and preference. Yeah? But you see a lot of sisters, they will be like, as soon as they get married, they want to move out, live with their husbands. Yeah? If they have that notion from get-go, they can break that family. Yeah, they can break the ties. They can make their husbands even disobey their parents. And they can be major sins. Sins that can make a person go inside the fire for a long time. Yeah? So these things, it needs to be understood. In Dar Arqam, if you go to my online portal, the Khamsoon, I talk about these issues of compatibility and Islam, and how to understand the text of Islam, the wahi and so forth. It's not so simple as people make it out to be. It's very comprehensive, it's very practical, it's very robust, it's based on stage by stage, step by step. It's about cause and effect, it's about goals and intentions and purposes, it's about the means and options you take. There's so many things involved. It's not so simple as people think. So let me just summarize it. Every society has culture. The culture can be wrong and the culture can be right. Some can be plausible, encouraged, others can be disliked and unplausible, discouraged. Right? What's the measurement? Number one, Islam. And number two, compatibility and preference. These are the two measurements by which then you judge. Any other questions? Will you finish it here?
If there's none from brothers, can you choose one, inshallah?
Last one.
There is 4, you can choose anyone. One more. Yeah, anyone from that, inshallah.
Okay. Marrying at a young age. I spoke about this today in the university, and I said yes. Marry early as possible, even if it means, as long as your families are happy. Yeah, marry early as possible, even if it means you have to borrow money. And don't worry about your finance. Yeah, marry. I said that again. Marry early as possible, even if it means you have to borrow money, as long as obviously your families are happy. Marry. Even if you're 18 years old, and he is also 21 or something like this, marry. Yeah, get married early as possible. That's my advice. We'll stop here, inshallah. It's a long day. Hayakum Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh.
Jazakumullah khair, Shaykh, for the lecture and the Q&A, and Jazakumullah khair, brothers and sisters, for attending. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.